like a weird thing, but yeah, I've always been with the same.
Oh my goodness.
It's the heater.
Oh no, do we have to get rid of the heater? I'm so sad. Oh.
Damn.
We'll pick it up in just a second. Thank you for joining and welcome to In the Vault with the Broddick team, where we love to talk about real estate successes and just everyday life. And today we have a very, very special guest, a friend of mine and colleague, Karlyn from Keller Williams. I had to ask her for her brokerage because I honestly just know Karlyn.
Nobody knows.
No one cares.
No,
Do they care?
I don't think anybody cares.
I don't think they care.
No.
So making the drive from Burlington.
Yes.
And the great thing about Karlyn is we met on a deal, and it was on Gillespie.
Yes, we did.
And we've actually been referring back and forth to each other ever since, even though we're not far away from each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking about when I first met you, and it was, I don't know, 5 years ago maybe now. Yeah. And I work primarily, as you know, in Burlington and Oakville. I was, still relatively new in my career. Yeah. So I had clients that wanted to buy in Brantford. So, of course, I'm driving to Brantford.
Yeah, I get it. We've all been there.
I got to do it.
Yeah.
So what I did was, because I was making the drive, I booked 6 or 7 showings back to back all in one day and said to my clients, okay, we'll just go for the one day. We'll bang out all these showings and basically pick a house. They were motivated. They were ready to go. So all 7 of those showings were your listings.
It was West Brant.
It was crazy. I remember going, and then I see your signs, as I'm driving property to property, I'm like, this woman is everywhere. This is incredible. How does she have all these listings? And I remember I texted you, and I'm like, you need to tell me how you got all these listings. This is nuts.
Yeah.
And then it just.
And I told you I was farming an area.
You did.
Which we're going to talk about because now you have a course.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Full circle. But.
Yeah, and at the time I didn't realize that I would be becoming friends with the person who also runs the real estate hacks.
Yeah.
Which we'll also talk about.
Yeah.
So before we get into all of that, though, why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are, obviously your area that you work, because I know it's more than just Burlington. I always think of Burlington, but and how long you've been in the business, and so we can get to know you a bit more.
Okay, yeah. I've been in the business, I think it's going to be 8 years in January, actually, which has flown by very, very quickly. I work in Burlington, Oakville area. I do go a little bit outside that area, but try to stick primarily to that. I'm a big believer in referring business. I'm a big agent-to-agent referral-based business. So, a lot of my lead gen and a lot of the stuff that I do is maybe a little bit outside of what the typical realtor does, just because my sort of lead gen and my building my business is tied to my relationships with other agents in other areas. It's a lot of fun. I really like it.
Yeah, and it's good for collaboration.
It's great.
It's good to network, right?
Yeah, and I've met so many amazing agents and created,
good relationships,
amazing relationships, and good friendships. Yeah,
so I love that.
Yeah, it's great. I love it. It's
now,
easy.
have you always been with Keller Williams?
Yes.
Okay.
I've always been with Keller Williams.
I don't know why I was thinking EXP, and then it's you get so confused with everyone's brokerages because then people move, and then nobody really cares about the brokerage as much.
I don't know that anybody really cares.
No.
Yeah. And I mean, even for me, my office is in Mississauga, and I don't really do anything in Mississauga, but I chose it for the culture of that specific office.
Okay.
But when people ask me, I said Keller Williams, and a lot of people don't even know what that is.
Yeah.
And then they ask, where's your office? And I say Mississauga, and they're like, well, don't you sell in Burlington? I'm like, yeah, but the culture at this office, the brokers there, I'm there for them. And so it's kind of a weird thing.
And which is funny because I don't think everyone knows the brokerage from necessarily the public standpoint, but from an agent standpoint, it is really important for your culture, collaboration, to respect the people that you work for. I actually have Ryan Saravelli coming on directly after this, so he's going to be here at noon. And I mean, to be honest, like the culture there, the owners there, the way they operate, their values, their ethics are all so important to me, and which is why I chose them. And obviously I was with another brokerage for almost a decade, but the culture for me was really important, but it's not always as important to the public, to the consumer, right? Because they just want the agent.
Right.
So whoever's backing them, I'm not sure matters as much, but for us it does.
Yeah, I do agree.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, when you look at an agent and you see what brokerage they're at, you sort of have a predetermined notion of what their general values are, right? You kind of just right away as an agent, you're right, you do. Or if you know certain broker owners and you go, oh, that makes sense. You know, that seems like a good fit for that agent. But you're right, the general public, they don't give a shit. They don't know.
They don't care. No, they care about the agent.
They care about the agent.
Yeah, which is important. So, okay, so you've been in the business now for 8 years. You've been with Keller Williams. You primarily serve Burlington and Oakville, which is great because that's about a 45-minute drive from me. Just enough for me to be like, you know what, even though I lived in Burlington for several years, the market is ever changing, as we're seeing right now. I mean, it's been like a pendulum swing since January of 2022. But it's great to have referral agents in those areas because I'm not up to date with that information, right? And I don't need to be. I don't check that. I have people like yourself that if I have great clients that I know are looking, I know that I'm going to call someone that I trust, right? Who's in that market, who's really in it.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm not really in it. I'm in Brantford and Brant County, and that's pretty much, and Norfolk, of course.
Yeah.
So.
And I think it's almost impossible to really, I mean, I'm a big believer in niching down in terms of your area and geo farming as well. But it's difficult. You can't know everything and you can't be a jack of all trades. You'll be a master of none. So I do agree. And it's amazing to have people like you and people like the referral agents that I have. I know my client's going to be looked after and it's just stress-free.
Yeah. You know exactly what to expect.
You know exactly what to expect. Yeah.
So we love to talk about people's successes here, mainly because in a very diverse business where everyone can run their business very differently. Some people are heavy on social media. Other people are more like relationship in terms of their database and really honing in on those people. We have people who like to refer or have a collaborative approach to real estate with their colleagues. So it's such an interesting and diverse business model on an individual basis that I love to hear what people have to say. I've learned a lot doing this podcast over the last 8 months because the top agents we've had on here, we have some that have a lot of paralleling values, but the way that they got success was so different. And I just love that because it gives such an eye-opening experience to new and experienced agents who become kind of stagnant in their career. How can we start catapulting and moving our businesses forward, especially in a market right now coming into 2024? So I would love to hear, 8 years feels like a long time, but that's still infancy stage of real estate when some people have been doing it for 35 years.
I know,
right?
I know. Or when some people are like, oh, I've been doing it for 40 years. I'm like, wow.
I'm 40.
Yeah, I'm like thinking this is a long, I don't think I ever thought of it as like a long play. Career, but it obviously is.
It is. Yeah. And it's ever changing and it's so dynamic.
Yes.
So I'd love to hear, in the 8 years that you've been in real estate, if you can really hone in on the things that have helped you become successful or have given you maybe avenues to finding ways to do this business in a different way that's really true to yourself. If you can even give me 3 of those things, and they don't have to be super specific, but what's been important to you to create that success in your career?
The most important thing for me, well, when I first started my career, I was brand new moving to Ontario. I was born and raised in Prince Edward Island, and I came here. So when I started my career, I had no database. Everybody says, and I'm sure, I know you're from the East Coast too, you might have gone through the same thing, but everybody says, call your database, call everyone the people from high school and the people from your sports clubs and all that. I didn't have that. So I had to figure out, how am I going to have a database? Yes, I can go out and meet people, of course, but like everybody else has a running start.
Yeah.
And I don't know anybody. I don't even know the names of the streets.
Yeah,
You know, at this
yeah.
point, I was so new to Burlington. So that really had me pivoting to the agent-to-agent referrals and focusing on my relationships with those agents, because that to me came really naturally and really easy.
Yep.
And was, like you said, it was true to who I was, because I found that those kind of cold lead gen methods didn't feel like it was my thing.
Yeah, wasn't right.
It wasn't right. It works
Yeah.
for some people. It didn't work for me. And I just felt, every day I'm going out there and I'm door knocking and I'm like, is this it? Is this
I
like,
quit.
do I gotta, yeah, it's like, it's freezing. It's February,
Yeah.
people's dogs are barking at me, and I know some people really enjoy it. I'm like, I don't want to do this every day.
Yeah.
So I kind of pivoted. So for me, it's been agent-to-agent referrals. It's been very much relationship-based, especially because I was starting with a zero database. So, over the years, agents and just people in general, I've tried to cast a big net and just meet as many people as I could and start creating relationships with people. And also with going back to not having the database and turning to agent referrals a little bit more, I also turned on to vendors. So mortgage brokers, lawyers, I would take meetings with them and try to get within their referral circle as well. It's almost like I'm sort of trying to borrow somebody else's database.
Yeah. But that's okay, though. You've got to start somewhere.
Do.
I mean, and if, door knocking, cold calling didn't feel like true to you, I mean, the alternative is quitting.
Yeah.
Right? And that's not going to work. You don't get success from that. So I love that. I mean, obviously, Andrew Perry and you are good friends. And I mean, obviously, he also is on the Real Estate Hacks. And similar thing, he really focuses on agent relationships. And I think there's something to be said about that, because that is a slow burn. That's not instant. That takes time to cultivate, to gain respect, gain trust.
It does.
And that's like the long haul. Like, that's not just expecting things to come in fast and furious. That's saying, I'm here and I'm willing to do the work and I'm willing to wait patiently for those referrals to come in. And I commend you on that, because everyone wants instant gratification.
Everyone does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Well, even with Geo Farming, it's a long play. People usually get into Geo Farming. They do it for a couple of months or a couple of weeks. They don't see anything come in and they give up.
Yeah.
But it's a long play. Those relationships, you're always working on them. For me anyway, I'm always working on my agent relationships and touching base. And, it's nice because it's not work. I mean, these are my friends. These are people that I really like, that I look up to, that I respect.
Yeah.
And so it's just easy and fun. Like when I compare, going and grabbing lunch with an agent and, bitching about the industry for an hour and making that connection versus, February when it's snowing and I'm at the front door and somebody's dog is about to bite me. It's like, okay.
Which would I rather do?
Yeah, which would I rather do? And it's a lot of fun and it's easy.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's also having those relationships to lean into markets like we have today, right? Being able to call on people that you trust and respect and, getting perspectives on how do we navigate this.
Yeah, that's been another huge upside to building these relationships is I have access to people who, like yourself, right? I have access to people who know so much more than me and that I can lean on, that I can ask for advice or be like, hey, what do you think of this? And that has been really golden to me too.
Yeah.
Which is just, I guess, a nice touch on top of everything else. It's like I'm connected now with these humans who are doing amazing things and who, we share the same values and it's really nice.
I love that. So then and that's a big one, because I mean, you've been basically cultivating a network of people for the last 8 years, which is huge. And now you're probably seeing a lot of the fruits of that effort, right?
Definitely.
Come through on top of building relationships, which is also its own, benefit. What would you say the next thing that you've done?
Well, the next thing is, I think, probably getting into this course that I've just launched. So my approach with agent relationships has always been based on a value approach. So providing value, sharing, being an open book, collaborating, that has kind of been the basis for those relationships. So what I want to do now is, I've done all kinds of different courses and Zooms through Real Estate Hacks and on my own for agents, but I wanted to kind of polish that and make that into a nice package and provide almost a higher quality content than your typical Zoom meeting, and kind of really open up and dive deep into topics that are, breaking more complicated topics down. Yeah. The other thing that I've found recently with agent training is a lot of it is very superficial. Yes. In that it's very like theory based. Yeah. And that works for some people. For me, I like just getting down to the nitty gritty. Like, here's what you need to do. Here's the value.
Step by step.
Step by step. I'm going to show you how to do this. I'm not going to make any false claims. I'm not going to, pretend it's something it's
Make
not.
7 figures in 30 days.
Yeah. Or how to get 25 listings in 1 week. Yeah, I'm not doing anything like that. It's just, I feel really valuable content, and I want to start sharing that with agents more. Yes. And so I think that that's probably the next step. And we're coming into 2024 now. I'm just trying to lay those roots now. Yeah. This is a great time, I feel, for agents to be working on their business.
Oh yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, I think over the last, couple of years, we were so burnt out from being boots on the ground because of, one, in 2021, 2022, parts of 2020, it was go, 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 go. Yeah. Then, we woke up one morning and walked into a brick wall, and the market switched to the other direction. And then we were go, 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 go with no results. Yeah. Or minimal results.
Minimal. Yeah.
And then, and now it's just a matter of which way do we turn? So, I mean, that's what we've been doing since July on my team is we've really been deep nose diving into our systems, refining them, what's working, what's not working, where are the gaps, what can we leverage, what can we do without, what can we replace now, because we're obviously years into our business, and maybe things that worked 5-7 years ago, they need to be polished up, and maybe something else will work better. So I agree. And so, anyone who's out there complaining about the market, shame on you. You should be, diving into your business and cleaning that up, because this is a really good time to do that, especially anytime in November and December is a good time to do that, but now especially.
100%. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Any year in November, December, that's when you should be doing your business planning and all of that. But yeah, now it's like just get into laying your foundation for next year. And I've just been trying to work on it. And the systems, like you said, in 2021, 2022, we're all just like running around like crazy people nonstop. Yeah. So now is a good time to reflect on that and be like, okay, the market probably will come back.
Oh,
it's probably going to be, these things,
Ebbs
they come and go. They come and they go. So inevitably, when you're busy again, you're going to, it's like doing something for your future self.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're taking care of some stuff before it becomes a problem.
Yeah, exactly. And, it's really funny. I was looking back. We operate off of calendars. Our admin staff have our calendars. They know where we are, what we're doing. And mine, went back to 2014 or 2015 before I had desk calendars. So I've been with this system for now almost a decade. And I was looking through our calendar, making sure that we had all of our people in our database, because it was crazy 2021 and 2022. And staff, my licensed assistant and also a godsend to me, we were looking at my calendar and we're like, what does this even mean? Like, my appointments were like half entered because we were frazzled.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Like, we didn't have time to stop and really make sure every step was done because we were so focused on deals and clients, and we didn't have time to. Yeah. So now's the time to be doing that. And I mean, I was like, oh my God, what was I doing in February of 2020? Well, I know what I was doing.
It was mayhem.
Absolutely bananas. Yeah. So that's good. I mean, at the end of the day, you've done the agent to agent referral, and now you're doing this course online, which at the end we'll tag, and hopefully we can drop the link so
Yeah,
then people
sure.
can take a look.
Yeah.
So now you're looking at, providing that education that you've received in this, step-by-step guide to help people with this geo farming, which I'm a big supporter of. I mean, I've always believed that if you give your time and attention to a small population of people, it's like nurturing your database. That will come. Takes time.
Takes time.
What else would you say that you would attribute some of your success to, as 8 years in the business? New agent, experienced agent?
I don't know. What else would I attribute my success to? I mean, I think for me, by far, my biggest superpower is that I believe in myself.
Yeah.
Like, I have an unwavering belief in myself.
Yeah.
So if I decide to do something, I'm going to do it. And I always think it's going to work out.
Yeah.
I don't have that kind of voice in the back of my head that says, what if
imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I do. It's like
probably on social
it's
media.
It's not perfect. Yeah, it's not perfect. But I think that has been my greatest driver to success overall has just been a strong belief in myself and knowing that I will make it work.
I love that.
Yeah.
You know what? I actually just did a keynote at Kathleen Black Summit.
How was that?
It was amazing. Yeah, it was amazing.
She's great.
She is fantastic. I could listen to her all day. But I had a keynote, not last week, but the week before, and it was all about ego to evolution. And the question that I posed to the audience is, should we drop the ego? And by the end of it, I had stated it's not about dropping your ego. It's about evolving it to positive self-worth.
Yes.
So that part of our ego really drives us to believe in ourselves, to have self-esteem and self-confidence, to get us to get up and go and do the things that we want to do in life to make this life beautiful. It's the negative parts of ego where we live in fear, we live in scarcity, we don't have abundance, right? Those are the things in ego that we don't have. So to have a positive sense of self is what made you successful. Of course, if you were worried all day long and you didn't believe in yourself,
you'd never get anything
you'd
done.
never get it done. Or you'd probably question yourself to a level where you weren't able to be the best that you could be, right?
Right. You're almost like talking yourself out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's been my big mantra for the last couple of years has just been done is better than perfect.
Absolutely.
That's like, because even with this
Yes.
course, I stayed up all night last night to finish it, to just get the rest of it.
Yeah,
I wanted to launch again. I'm like, I'm launching it on Monday.
Yeah.
I only had it half done last night at 11 p.m. and I finished it somehow. But I lost my train of thought.
Done is better than perfect.
Done is better than perfect. Oh, yeah. So last night, it's like 2 a.m. I'm editing.
Oh my God.
I'm realizing I could edit this thing for years.
Yeah.
And I would never be completely happy with it.
Yeah.
And I'm picking apart every little thing. So last night, I'm like, I'm doing it. I'm
Yeah.
filming it. It's going to not be perfect the way that I want it, but it's going to be done.
Yeah.
And it's going to be enough.
Yeah.
Right? I don't need to sit here and edit until my fingers are bleeding.
No.
Just get it out there.
No, and the best thing is the evolution of this, right? It's like if you think about your very first video that you put on social media compared to your 100th video, you're going to see the evolution of how much more confident you become, how much better it appears, how much more exciting it is because you're invested more in it, right? So I agree with done is better than perfect, and I've had to say that to myself anytime we jump on social media or get in front of people, right? It's
scary
and
a
people's
little bit.
perception is different. We're going to be our own worst critics too, right? Yeah. I love that. So we have your referrals, we've got your educating, you're also giving back to the agents as well as they've given to you from a referral base. And then of course, just believing in yourself, which I think every top agent that's sat in the chair has said something similar to that.
Yeah.
So that I'm going to flip this. What is one thing you wish you hadn't spent so much time on?
I wish I didn't spend so much time thinking that everything had to be perfect. I would think, okay, I'm gonna door knock my whole neighborhood.
Yeah.
And then I would spend weeks with the maps and the planning and you know the streets. And it's like you just need to do. You just need to take action.
Yeah.
And so what do they call that? Analysis paralysis.
Yes.
Where you just are thinking about it so much that you don't get anything done.
Yep.
That was my biggest waste of time.
Yeah.
In the beginning, working on my website. And of course, a website's important, but did I need to be spending 6 hours a day editing a website as a brand new agent?
No. To show up on the page 66 of Google.
Yeah.
I get it though.
Yeah.
But I think we've all done that.
You want to do it, but it's just like, it's meaningless. So if I could go back, I would be like, Karlyn, just leave the website.
Yeah.
Like, get off. You don't need to be writing blogs.
No.
You need to be out meeting people. You don't know anybody in this city. Like, what's important here,
Yeah, I agree 1,000%.
It's hard to prioritize because I'm guilty of it even now. I'm sure you are too. You get caught up in the details and, you want it to be perfect. You want everything that you put out to be like amazing, but it's not always going to be.
No, it's not.
This, like you said, is the first course. And that, if you scroll all the way back on your social media and you look at that first video you posted, now I'm sure all of us would be like, oh,
God, cringe.
Yeah, so
but I keep
cringy.
them up there.
I do too.
There. I'm like, man,
but
that was me.
If you scroll and you see the evolution, you just have to do it.
And you have to be proud.
You do have to be proud.
Like, you have to be proud of it. Like, at the end of the day, we all started somewhere, and there's someone else sitting out there who didn't start at all.
Right.
And that's hindering their growth, right?
Yes.
And like I said, it's all about evolving ourselves. It's all about pivoting. It's all about re-strategizing. It's about looking inward. Mm-hmm. Understanding that we're the only ones responsible for our successes and failures. Mm-hmm. Nobody else can be accountable for that. It's just about collaborating. That's why I started this, was because I was like, I am so bored in this career right now. I can sell standing on my head. But you know what I don't get enough of is my colleagues.
Yeah.
So let me sit down and be able to have half-hour, 45-minute chats with them.
I think it's great.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, it is
It's
fun.
just like loosey-goosey and like...
It is. And it gives us a good excuse to...
Get together?
Yeah, because it's like, okay, I'm going to go chat with Kate.
I'm
going to hang out with Kate.
We should have had some nachos.
Yeah.
We need to
start
I don't
think anybody wants to see us eating.
No, actually not, probably
Especially
not.
Especially with the mics.
Oh,
It'd be
God,
like
crunching.
Yeah. It'd be like ASMR.
Oh, I love that though. Oh, I'm obsessed.
I love...
The monkeys?
The monkeys?
Oh my God. I'm going to send you so many monkey videos of monkeys eating fruit. I could listen to it all day long.
Really?
It's like this weird thing that I love. Yeah, and they sit there and they eat like the
little crunchies?
The strawberries, and you can hear them crunching. Oh my God, it's so...
Okay.
I'll send you monkey videos.
Now I need to see the monkey video. I thought my thing was weird, but that's definitely weirder.
Yeah.
But have you ever done the ASMR, it's like the sleepy time ones to go to sleep? Okay, so there's this one that I really like, and it's called like head massage or something. You know when someone massages your head?
Oh my God, yes.
And it makes that kind of like sound by your ears?
It's kind of crunching, but not crunching.
It's a little crunchy, but it's like somewhat soothing.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it's basically those noises. It's somebody literally just going like this to a microphone.
I'd fall asleep.
I use that to fall asleep.
Oh my God.
And my husband is like, "Are you like, what's wrong with you?" I'm like, I don't know. It's relaxing.
You have to send this to me.
I will send it to you.
Oh my God. I love that kind of stuff where you're like so intently listening to it, because the sensory for the audio is crazy, right?
Yeah. And it almost feels
that.
like when you have the earbuds in, that it's inside your brain.
It
like tickles
Does it come with
brain.
a free masseuse?
It tickles your brain in some weird way.
That.
I don't know why, but it's amazing.
So what is on the horizon for 2024? What are your predictions? I'm going to get away from the question and challenge, and I want to know from our next couple guests, what's your predictions for 2024? And then I'm going to send you an article that I read this morning, but I'm not going to do that till after.
My predictions in terms of the market?
Yeah, real estate, the market. What do you think? Everyone's so doom and gloom, and I think they're nuts.
I think it's a roller coaster. It's up and down. It comes, it goes. It's good, it's not.
Yeah.
And it never stays one way or the other for very long. So I'm optimistic. I think the first quarter might be a little bit
Getting back into it?
Getting back into it. I think people need to get comfortable with the rates.
Yep.
We've got another announcement on December. Is it the 5th?
5th, I think.
5th, I think.
Or 6th.
Yeah. Which I think probably they will stay.
I agree.
And I think in Q2 and 3, it's going to pick up again. I don't think it's going to be as crazy as it was.
No.
It took us a while to get to that craziness, and I think it will take a while again. So I'm hopeful. I'm optimistic. I don't think it's doom and gloom. Yeah, the market's down, but so what? This is great time to work on your business, great time to brush up on the
great time to get those buyers out,
basics.
because that's what we've been doing like crazy.
Yeah, call up your buyers.
Oh, our buyers right now are like, guys, we see opportunity here. I'm like, this is opportunity.
Yeah. This is what we've been waiting for.
Absolutely, 1,000%. I mean, people are paying hundreds of thousands of dollars less, which means hundreds of thousands of dollars they don't have over 25 years to pay off.
Yes.
I mean, it's been a great time to buy, in my opinion, and we've been getting our really savvy buyers out there, and they're knocking it out of the park right now.
Do you find a lot of investors?
Oh yeah, we have
back in
investors
the
right
mix?
now. Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Because they understand. A lot of them are taking out variable rates too. Because my prediction, I think it's gonna. When I say blow up, I mean pendulum swing, not necessarily hundreds of thousands of dollars over asking. One little bit of relief. I say we have a quarter to a half a point relief on interest rates.
Floodgates.
And we're gonna see everyone come back out to play. I think we're gonna see a phenomenal real estate market in 2024. And when I say that, it does not by any means mean that it's gonna go back to 2022. I never want to see that market again. I hated it.
No, it was horrible.
It was nuts. It was emotional. It was stressful. People were impulsive. I think neither buyer or seller were satisfied in their own ways.
Mm-hmm.
I think coming back to a beautiful, stable market of people wanting to shop, being excited about real estate again, being excited about moving with their family, agents being excited again.
That'd be nice.
Oh my God, 2019, bring me back that market.
Yeah, I know.
I'm all about it.
Honestly, that was great.
Yeah.
That was a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. That would be nice to see. A little bit of relief, because
Yeah.
I think everybody's a little tight right now.
Yeah.
It's affecting everybody.
Gas and groceries are huge right now.
Yeah.
Cost of living has been high.
Everybody's cutting back on expenses.
Yep.
Yeah, I would love to see that part loosen a little bit, because
Yeah.
I'm a big believer that people need to be out, at the movies, at the local restaurants.
Yes.
Spending money and not feeling like scared to do
Yeah.
that. People want to live their lives.
They
I
work
think
hard. They
they
deserve
do,
it.
100%.
Yeah.
And I think especially after what we went through in
I
2020
still have PTSD from
as
that.
a world. Yeah, me too.
Homeschooling your children,
Oh.
never again. All the moms who homeschool, I've never had more respect for you
Never.
than in my life. That was so hard, and not to mention just the mental health and the people feeling alone and dark. Yeah, like never. Put that behind us. Let's have a
Let's like have a nice booming economy.
Yeah.
Some low interest rates.
Yeah.
Let's go out to eat.
Yeah.
Taco Tuesday.
favorite restaurant.
We want to let's just all enjoy life again.
I think so too, and positive mindsets and people coming together, creating that sense of community again. I think it's here. I do. I think that we're going to see something very different in 2024, and I think we all have to contribute to that. We all have to be a part of it. So staying away from that negative banter and negative mindset, and cheering each other on and being good friends and being good neighbors. I see it,
agree.
Karlyn.
I know. You know what? I'm super excited for 2024.
Me too.
I'm feeling really good about it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah. And that's the only way. I'm seeing a lot of doom and gloom on Twitter from agents.
I won't even go on there.
I mean, I don't go on it, but I just see the odd thing, and it's like, wow.
I feel if you want a good ass whooping, you go on Twitter.
Yeah.
Like if you want someone to just look you dead in the face and just
they're savage.
They're
just
savage.
destroy you.
Just destroy you. They're nasty.
Nothing's off the table.
No.
I know. I know agents who are super active on Twitter. I'm like, I don't have.
Can't do it.
Like, I would be heartbroken. Somebody would devastate me with
yeah.
one comment.
Absolutely.
And I would be crying all day. Like,
Yeah.
I'd be like, that would not be the place for me. You have to be very strong
I agree.
to go on there. Same with TikTok, I find.
I just creep. I don't post.
Yeah, same. I just scroll.
Well, it's honestly been a pleasure to have you here, and I'm so grateful you got to come. I mean, obviously, it's been a while since I've seen you, and honestly, if you want to just share with the audience how to find you and this course would be great.
Yes, I will actually give you a link for that.
Perfect.
I have a
We can
QR
post that.
code or a link.
Yeah.
It's hosted through an app called Teachable. It's laid out really, really nice. So
Awesome.
we can link it there. And yeah, I'm excited for people to check it out.
Yeah,
I'm excited to
I'm gonna
hear
check it out.
feedback.
I'll give you
I
feedback.
definitely want feedback because I want the next one, assuming, maybe there won't be, maybe or maybe not. I don't know.
There'll be another one.
Yeah, we'll see. But if there is another one, I want to make sure that I've taken what I've learned from that first one, and maybe the second one is 5% better than the first one.
That's
my
progress.
goal. Yep.
Yeah. So
Progress
where would
is
they find you on
progress.
socials?
They would find me on Instagram at karlyneacrett.realestate or on Facebook, Karlyn Eacrett.
And we'll put up the links to the show as well.
Yeah.
So, but thank you for joining us. Don't forget
Thank
to
you for having me.
rate and review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and join us for the next podcast with a very special guest of mine who's also the owner and CEO of Revel Realty, which is Ryan Saravelli. So stay tuned for that. And thanks for joining us.